Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real South Africa. Things are going really well over here. The summer is starting to show up, and I'm your host, Mark Edward Blanton, and we have a special guest. Her name is Ari Squires. This woman does pretty much everything, and we want to introduce you to her. And this is her first time in South Africa.
And now it is time for the weather. Good morning, South Africa. I hope you've managed to get a coffee in because it's going to be another beautiful day starting here in Johannesburg.
Hello again, everyone, and thank you guys for following the Real South Africa. This is a true grassroots movement. We're trying to get the word out to everybody in the diaspora and, of course, those in South Africa about what South Africa actually offers. Today, we had an opportunity to go to a place called Riberville. It's in the waterfall area. It's a very beautiful location, and we got an opportunity to sit with one of our great friends who just came in from the United States. This is her first tour. She's here. She's doing the most, and we want you guys to meet her. So here you go, Ari Squires.
To learn that it was my responsibility to take charge of my life because nobody was going to do it for me.
Everybody, this is Mark Bland from the Real South Africa. And today we got a special guest that came all the way in from Atlanta by way of somewhere else.
Virginia.
Okay.
By way of California.
Oh, so you're originally from California?
Originally born and raised.
I didn't know that.
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah, born and raised. That's my hometown.
All right, my sister lives there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she's good people then.
Yeah, she'll be here next week or week or so. She'll be here.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, she's been there way too long.
Yeah.
And she's all
You
Sacramento.
got to get out of Sacramento. You got to be there, and then you got to go.
She's been there about 15 years, 16
Yeah, I
years.
was there 25, 26 years.
Okay, well, you made it to Virginia. This is where I met her before I was the Real South Africa.
Yes.
And we were, I think me and my wife owned some PT companies.
Yep.
And whatnot.
Yep.
And then obviously you do amazing work.
Well, thank you.
So no, for real, tell them who you are.
Well, goodness, who am I? That's a hard question to
Okay,
ask.
maybe your name will help.
Well, Ari Squires. My name is Ari Squires, number one. But I mean, wow, when we met, at that time I owned my dance and performing arts school, and I owned that for 10 years. So I'm just an entrepreneur, but mainly now what that transitioned into is helping people with their businesses and help them get more awareness and perfect their marketing and build their brand equity. So now what I do is I manage the brands of 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs. I work with a lot of celebrities, a lot of, big companies, helping them, NFL players, just helping them expand that awareness in their brands and business. And I love it. And I'm also a speaker. That's why I'm here.
Exactly. And when we say here, she's in Johannesburg, South Africa, doing some speaking engagement and so forth. So I was so happy when you said, hey, I'm coming to South Africa. I'm like, okay, great.
I finally made it.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, you've been wanting to come because before we were living here, we were always back and forth, and we were learning a little bit more about South Africa. So you did have an interest, but obviously you had to build your brand and build yourself up. So and we think that's cool. So as we're sitting here, I'm kind of like, wow, I remember when you was first starting. I think you had an office at your home.
Yep.
And so forth, and look at you, all international.
I know, isn't that amazing? But that just shows you that anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Yeah. Just like you guys being here. You're talking about me. I'm like so proud of you and Tasha. I'm just like, because you said you were going to do it. And
years ago.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Same thing. I said I was going to get there, and here I am. And the beauty of getting here is getting here and doing the work that I love to do.
It's true.
You know,
it's true.
like my gift and my talents and my passion and my purpose brought me here. Now I want to move here. They've been showing me just in a short amount of time, just the Africa that I've never seen before, that I've never experienced before, and it's just creating this. I don't even have a word for it, but like this energy that I, like this happy, fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel so good. So I'm glad that you showed me. Then introducing me to your friends we met over there, your friends here, and I'm learning so much.
Yeah. There's a whole nother world.
It is. It really is. And people need to see this.
Yeah.
We need to see this.
Yeah. And there's good people here.
Yeah.
That are ready to receive them.
Yes.
Once they get here and kind of hip them, as we usually use the old school term, hip them to the culture of what's here. And it's important that they know that the culture here is first. And I think you're figuring that out.
Definitely. I love that the culture and the history of the South African people is still prevalent in the South African culture. Because you think since we don't have it in America, the black community, it's gone. We don't. Our culture is
pop culture.
Yeah, it is. There you go.
It's pop culture.
But to hear it and see it here, it feels like home. Even though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everyone is just so welcoming. With the smiles and it's just amazing. I'm trying to figure out the right word.
No, it's hard. It's very hard.
It'll come to me one day. So if I sound like I'm like fumbling and I'm not educated, I really am.
Yeah, and she's a speaker by trade.
I'm a speaker.
But this thing is serious.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I wouldn't expect you to be able to spit out the words immediately. Like I said, it took me years. I was going back and forth, and I finally picked it up. And then, of course, now that me and Tasha are here presently, we're picking up things every day. We learned a lot, and we're still learning more based off of what culture that we encounter that day. And I like the fact that most of the people that we meet are willing to share and say, hey, you know what? You're new here. You need to know this, and this.
Yeah. Like I'm seeing it like I didn't even expect to see it in this way. You get what I'm saying? Like I knew, not to say that I think South Africa is just this poor, poverty-stricken, even though everywhere is like that.
Absolutely.
But it's just the way I'm seeing it, the feeling that I'm having, and seeing it and experiencing it this way is different. It's different.
Yeah.
It's like, yes. Different to the people.
So far since you've been here a short time, and obviously you got a little bit more time.
Yes.
And then I don't think South Africa is going anywhere. So it's not going anywhere. So whenever we try to tell people, and we do find people that say, hey, I just want to move over there, but sight unseen. And I would say that
come visit.
You need to visit. I mean, just in your short period of time, your whole perspective of South Africa has changed as you have stated.
But you have to visit, because you can visit places, but you have to experience it and visit it a certain type of way. You get what I'm saying? It can't be just the touristy part only.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like when I go places, I like to get into the hoods, the community, to the culture, because then you really experience a place. And that's the experience that I've had so far with you guys in this short time.
I know, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. So I can imagine.
As I was messaging you earlier, and you was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about doing that. And I think I said to you, we're the locals now. Even though you might see me from back from Virginia, you're like, okay, that's just Mark from Virginia, But like I said, we're gonna definitely make sure you get to see a little bit more, and obviously you had an opportunity to meet some of our people that we frequently chat with, and I'm sure it's been somewhat of an experience. So far, I'm assuming this is I'm gonna call it her first impression. So far, what is your first impression? And you may have already said it, but now you got a chance to.
My first impression really is, I feel like this is home. Like this is the place where I was always supposed to come and visit and be a part of. So that's kind of like where I'm feeling like it just feels peaceful. We're so used to hustle and bustle and working. Not me, but I used to be that way.
Yeah,
I used to be team no sleep, But that's not how life is supposed to be. And so I like here, even just going in traffic, it can be chaotic, but it's not chaotic. Just driving around and experiencing the community. It's not chaotic here. It's really peaceful. Like I feel at peace.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so I think that has been my first impression. Even just getting off the airplane and getting to my hotel and doing what I've been doing and then meeting with you guys, everything has just been peaceful. Gratifying, exciting, eye-opening. It's just been everything. All the positive words in the dictionary, but and I'm serious. I'm not just saying this. I'm really serious. Like, I'm talking to my husband every night, and I'm talking to my sister every night, and I'm just explaining. Same thing I'm saying to you is the same thing I'm saying. And so now, as I'm seeing it in this way, I'm like, I've been wanting to move. You know, not now, but having plans. Like, I don't want to be in America forever. Like, that just wasn't. Yeah. And I've been talking to my husband about this, and now I'm like, okay, this could be the place. This could be the place.
Could be.
Right? This could be the place. You got to come and experience it. Yeah. You know, but you got to experience it in a different way. The touristy stuff is cool. Yeah. You got to do that because that's where you learn the history of the people, the city, the country, the people. Like, that's so important. And I know you guys are going to set me up on a tour.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to show you out.
One of these days before I leave, I'm going to be able to, experience that part. So I'll be able to share with you what that experience was like as well.
So you can meet the animals.
Yeah, just
the giraffes.
Like you can't come to South Africa.
And the zebras.
And the zebras? Is that what they're called?
Zebras.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't come to South Africa and not do some of those things. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You can't not do that. But this has been great, and I've told you several times, I'm so proud of you for having your company where you're, having people from the States and maybe other places too, right? Yeah,
we actually have a lot of people from the UK, Canada, the Caribbean that have booked or have already came and gone.
Yeah, to come and see South Africa. So that's dope.
Thank you. That's dope. I will say, and like I said, we put all the information at the bottom, that you have a dope company as well that do a lot of things upfront and personal in your face to, I guess, increase people's existence, especially those that are, trying to get into business, because a lot of people, and I can honestly say, as a business person in the U.S., most people don't know business. They think they know.
They hop in with just an idea.
They have
no plan, no strategy.
There we go.
Not willing to put the sacrifice in, and that's why I created my podcast, Release the Chains, because people have to understand that there are some things you got to unlearn and relearn in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. It's not easy.
No, the entrepreneurship is actually the hardest profession that you can possibly choose, but if you're successful, it's because of the things that you've learned along the way. I can honestly say for us, me and Tasha ourselves, we didn't have a lot of mentors, but we hit all the branches going down, and it was difficult. So we recovered. We had each other, and then of course we had some people that was already on that journey that said, "Hey, come here, young fellas, sit down. Let's have a conversation." And I'm like, "Well, what does that mean? That's not fair." I think one of the biggest things somebody told me was, always have an exit strategy.
Every time.
Yep, and so I was always preparing when I didn't even know that I was going to need that exit strategy. I was preparing. And when the time came and we was like, we're punching the ticket to come to South Africa, I unveiled my exit strategy, and I was able to properly enter into the sales market and negotiate, all the due diligence that needed to happen. I had all my numbers lined up, all my returns squared away, all my taxes
done.
Many
entrepreneurs don't do this stuff.
But this is basic stuff.
Yeah, but they don't do it. Trust me, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
I help them get all of that stuff set up and arranged so that they can properly, smoothly transition into their business success. So, that's awesome.
All right. Well,
that's awesome.
So you guys can reach out to her, especially if you guys are in the States that are like, hey, I'm trying to set up my business. It could be a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, set it up, spend time in South Africa at the same time. And as your business grows, you can set it up to sell or whatever you need to do.
Your business could be international, because we're international now. You know what I'm saying? We're international. We're international.
So these are the things that can happen for you as well. So just stick with us, and of course, like I said, go to her information to be at the bottom, and then of course you can reach out to the Real South Africa whenever you're ready. So
can I just say this one quick time?
Please do.
I just have to say this. I've dealt with a lot of quote unquote tourist companies, and a lot of times they don't have their stuff together. So be very mindful. Do your due diligence, okay? About who you choose to help you on your journey, whatever journey that is, whether it be entrepreneurship or whether it be your travel to South Africa. I just have to say that. And so what I'm seeing and hearing from the Real South Africa, they're the people definitely that you want to reach out to. Be careful, because everybody don't know what they're doing. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. And I just want to say that. I just got to say that.
Well, thank you, dear.
Yeah,
We appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Yeah,
All right, guys. We will see you on the flip side.
Skin on their throat, but the plain zebra or the Burchell zebra do not have that flap, and the plain zebra is also just a little bit smaller than this one.
En dit het daai enetjie daar so vetter af 'n nekkie het.
Ja.
Okay.
See what I was talking about of the warthog rolling in the mud? I'm busy rolling there at the water's edge. Just cooling down a little bit.
He's short. Little short guy. Yeah, this is cool.
Pumbaa being Pumbaa.
I think that's forever their name. Pumbaa. Right.
En jy het nog 'n swanger zebras op die oomblik.
We've got quite a few antelopes that are actually pregnant during this time, so hopefully when we start getting some good rain, we had proper rain last night at least, but hopefully if that continues for about a good week, when everything's starting to get a bit more green and a bit more lush, then they are going to start producing some babies, or babies are going to be born. We have got a big antelope here on the reserve known as the yellow, and they also already have the babies. There's quite a few calves running around now. Especially when they lift their hair up, they open up the patch basically, which causes them to have the scientific name of marsupialis. Now marsupialis is all your antelope or all your animals that have that pouch basically, something like your kangaroo and things like that. Now obviously these ones don't carry the babies in the pouch, but they have like a special gland that's inside that pouch, and when they open it up during mating season, it secretes a pheromone which attracts the females, and that's how the males get the females around them then.
So they put the Jakar on. Got him out there doing his thing. Alright guys, we're gonna have some other game drivers. Keep it down, making all that time. Stop trying to get us beaten up. You too hard. Blue guinea fowl, just in front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say COVID ain't slowing me down.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all around each reserve, you will find this one is the impala.
Oh, the Impala, like the Chevy.
Well, basically, yes.
Yeah, just like the Chevy.
So these are impala rams. Now the neighbors' impalas are also next to the fence. So this one is just basically chatting with them, seeing what's going on. And these are all males. Obviously the males having horns, the females not having horns. They usually find like what we can see here at the back. You can see here at the back of the fence. This is one of 3 distinct kind of herds that you will find. It's known as a bachelor's herd. You can see there's no females, but it's all males. So that's a bachelor herd. And you also find something known as a breeding herd, which would be the dominant male with all the females then, without any other males around him. And then of course you get something called the creche, which is all the females, all the babies without any male presence.
So if you're the dominant male, you live in the dream, huh?
Basically, yes, until one of the ones that's in here now in the bachelor herd, until he is big enough and strong enough to come and challenge you. If he overthrows you, then you take his position and he takes your position.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting. Now, do they set up their own herds, or you guys?
No, they said
It's all natural.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
all natural.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we try in the whole reserve, we try and keep it as natural as possible. Only place where we will interfere, for example, is if there's an animal that's really or hurt really badly, or like with the babies now, putting out some extra feed for the females, putting out the salt licks for them to get the needed nutrients in, so that the babies are born then healthy. And
Okay.
that's the only place we'll interfere.
Well, look, just driving the big road, and they're all in different places. They're not in the same place, so you gotta actually look for them at night, in the morning, you'll find different things because some of them will come out. So women later hide for the most part, but yeah, so you just gotta find them. They live in the same space.
Typical herd mentality. One runs and everyone runs. And yeah, at least this one is standing still nicely now for the photos. But yeah, very characteristic of the waterbuck is of course that white circle that they have on their bums. And that's basically used as a follow me mechanism for when they're running through the thickets. So they can basically follow that that target on their bum, basically follow each other through the thickets so they don't get lost. There's actually an old folklore, there's some more standing there at the trees. It's an old folklore saying why you don't, or why you very rarely see waterbucks and impalas that's grazing together. It's basically because the impala, he's a jokester, he's a prankster, and he basically painted the toilet white just before the water bug went to sit down. Of course, the paint was still wet, and that's how they got that mark. So they are still upset with the impala from years back. These ones grazing next to us now is the black wildebeest. Way down there, the tree is the blue wildebeest. We've got two species here on the reserve. The blue wildebeest underneath the tree. These guys are also known as the white-tailed gnu's because of that whitish, blondish kind of tail that they have, of course. If you notice, these guys' horns go forward, curl down, and then they curl back up. So your blue wildebeest, even though he's laying down, you can see his horns are going to the side, and then they start curling up. That's a big difference between the two of them.
And what are these again?
These are the black wildebeest or the white-tailed gnu's because of that whitish blondish tail they have.
Oh, okay.
And now this is again an example of both genders having horns. Now can anyone guess why you get in antelope species, you get some antelope that both genders have horns, and then again where only one gender has horns? You have to take a wild guess.
Isn't it something about to protect themselves? Is it iets soos as iets moet gebeur met die vrouwtjie wil nie laat die mannetjie al sien of iets nie?
It is for protection, yes. But where do you usually find the antelope species that both male and female have horns? Where do you usually find them? Find them in the open where there's not a lot of shelter around and things for them to run away from. So where you see something like your kudus, your nyalas, your impalas, your waterbuck, you usually find them in thicket areas where it's easy to escape from predators. With these guys, they're in the open areas the whole time, so there isn't much place for them to hide away in. So the male and female have to be able to protect themselves as well as the babies if something is to attack them, like let's say for example a jackal tries to steal one of their little calves, then they can at least protect themselves that way. But things like your wildebeest, your gemsbok, your eland, they will all have, both male and female will have horns. Both genders have horns. One way to see the difference between male and female is if you look at their foreheads. The males will have a tuft of hair on their foreheads basically between the horns, where the females will not have that tuft of hair. The males are obviously then much bigger as well, and they've got much thicker necks than the females. Because even though they do have those horns, they will not use the horns if they fight with each other. They'll rather wrestle each other basically into submission, and that's why they have those thick necks. I mean, if you're trying to push around 800 or 900 kilograms, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Those rhinos down there.
Way down there.
Yeah, you should have seen when we came past Java. I got a fright because I'm really scared of them. They fast.
Just stay away from the hippo. See a hippo, you go the other way. He brand new. Brand new. What's that little ferret? You see that little thing on the right side? Right, like you see the.
Oh yeah.
Little Yeah, mongoose, he says. Little mongoose. Let's go sit your butt down somewhere.
These babies are still very, very young. This one man was probably only
How long?
this morning, early morning.
Oh, he was born this morning?
You think so?
Yeah, this one, either he or she was probably born this morning. You see, he's still very, very small. Still very unsure on his feet.
Let's measure you.
Still very, very small.
I'm still trying to figure out how to use these things.
Yeah, I have one of those too. They're pretty good.
Unfortunately, walking doesn't come with a manual for them to read.
Right.
Yeah, they figured it out. I want to go with you. Oh, I'm walking.
You said you have one of these gimbals. Yeah, I love it. So we're moving so much, so it keeps it stable.
Yeah, this does.
Is that stabilizer too?
Yeah, stabilizer.
Oh my God. I hate when I'm trying to
There they go.
edit. And then,
So you be editing pretty good?
no.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not an editor. I hate when
I try. I ain't got time to wait around.
Yeah, no, I have my editors. But sometimes I'll do some.
Yeah, I had some guys, but they were just taking too long. I was like,
Yeah, that's the
Done
thing.
with you.
That's the thing. You gotta learn how to do it on your own.
Yeah,
You
no.
know how to do it.
No, I can do it. I do all of them actually. Getting my film today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer you sent me, and I
Yeah.
was looking at it, but then I couldn't hear it. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
trying to watch it when I get in my room.
Yeah.
But it looked good visually. It looked really good.
I'm trying.
But
Son.
visually,
I'm trying to be like Ari, dude.
but whatever. I'm just trying to upgrade.
Go. Rhino. That's a big horse. If I can knock this truck over if they wanted to.
No, I'm sure they would.
Yeah. It's a big
Just enjoying the water. See, we've got a few babies here as well. 2 young calves. You guys notice that these rhinos have 2 pairs of, or has a pair of horns, one at the front and one at the back. You notice the baby, he's only got the one horn. The second horn, behind the little knob, that basically just starts developing behind the first horn. And that little knob only starts developing after 12 months. So only when it's a year old that horn will start developing. Unfortunately, except for like your normal info about the rhinos and things like that, I can't really disclose a lot much more information about like how old the babies are, how much we have in
Oh, yeah.
Just for safety reasons, I can't disclose.
That's why the cars like keep on dropping out. So they're brown like they can be really
Yeah, so that's another thing we're really for that. These guys are of course look like rhinos. Now, like you mentioned, it's not because of the colour, otherwise we should call the red rhino or white rhino. That crusty white is basically just derived from the word wide. As you can see, the lips are very wide or very square. So they're also known as the square lip rhino. It's because of the habitat that you find them in. It's the grassland biome that we are in right now. And the males are permanently on the ground, permanently eating, heads down. That's why they also have that hump on their back. Now, of course, their counterparts, the black rhinos, or also known as the purple lip rhinos, they are more in your bushveld areas and much more in your thicker biomes. because they love the shrubs and things like that a lot more. Basically got like an upside down triangle as a platform, so you use to break the trees and things like that. They're also much smaller than the white rhinos, and much more solitary as well. You can see these guys are much more social animals. See that maybe over there, that's not already started to develop. The one down the far right hand side, that's now best started.
As you can see, we are out in the bush. My name is David Attenborough. And you gotta keep an eye on these bad boys.
So, just to say, yes, this is of course a very special sighting, and you guys are obviously more than welcome to take as many photos as you'd like, but if I can just ask you a favor, please just take the location tag off and keep it posted. Please just do not post videos. Again, it's just for the safety and the protection of these.
Yeah, those culture guys, they look for tech information. They do. Poachers.
Oh, what do they do?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And these people are really fishing cougar.
Wow.
Quite a few reserves in South Africa actually already cut the horns down, and it is very possible to do that because the horn isn't fixed to the skull. It grows from the skin. It only has a nasal bone which that horn rests on top of, but that horn is made up out of the exact same material as your fingernails. It's made up out of keratin. It's just much more densely compacted.
So it's easy to
Yes, but because they remove it, they have to, every few years, they have to cut it down again. So exactly as I mentioned with your fingernails, if you trim it, it grows back. Same with the horns, they will start growing back, so just have to keep grinding it down basically.
Little babies.
I think that these little ones will grow up to be good.
Those are oyster cake, I'm telling you. They was on about twice this size. And these people just walk right up to our search. I'm like, what are they doing? They did all that.
little babies.
Chicken nuggets.
Right now we can see it's definitely two three families that join up because of the three males, and with the females as well, you can see the babies also very different in size.
So how do you know the difference between the male and the
Color.
female? Color.
Now just these black ones that's looking good back. The females are the ones that are a little bit more dull in coloration. So of course, with anything in nature, the males are going to be much more beautiful.
You think so?
Yeah, that's true.
I have to disagree.
No, it's true. It's a true statement.
But I do like the male lion. Looks. No.
But I do notice that the females almost in every species are always leading the way.
Yeah.
The guys are just following.
Yeah, it's basically just the reason why the female is that dullish greyish kind of colour is just basically for camouflage and for protection of the eggs and the babies. So if there's a threat, the babies will go underneath the mom's wings and she will basically just lay her head flat, which will look like another piece of dead shrub or something like that, just to protect the babies then.
And how does the baby know if their mom is, or like?
I don't think they know specifically which one is their mom. Obviously, if it's just going to be the one male and the one female, then obviously they're going to know. I think over here, because they joined up, there's also the first time that all of the guides actually saw that three families joining up together. So what we think is happening is that there's basically joint parental care.
Who's ever feeding you is mama. Whoever feeds you.
Babies can feel it. He's like this spiritual sense of
She's feeding me. She's mom.
Babies, when the eggs hatch, then they were with the real mother. So it probably has to be that kind of connection. But obviously, when one female feeds the other female's babies, they are going to eat because I mean,
it's food.
So, right, let's go see if we can. Doing is known as allo grooming. So they're grooming each other, and it just basically strengthens the bond between them. So members of a pride will do that. Wild dogs will do that. Mongoose do it on a regular basis as well. So it's just strengthening the bond.
So Ari means lion.
Say it.
Ari, my name means lion.
Takabon means lion.
What is it?
I don't remember which language it is, but I know Takabon
Oh, okay.
in South Africa means lion. That's so cool.
This female here in the front is enjoying that.
So cute.
You gotta be quiet when the lions are sleeping. Don't play.
Let's see if we can go and find the rest. So there's a mother and a cub in here as well, so hopefully.
Hello, everyone. As you guys already know, my name is Mark Edward Blanton from the Real South Africa, owner and operator of this wonderful company that brings you to South Africa. And we do it in a manner in which you get an opportunity to view everything, see everything you need to see, either on a 6-day, 10-day, 13-day trip, or if you want to stay longer, we can arrange that for you as well. We do a lot of stuff. The best thing you could do is go to our YouTube channel if you're not already on it, and subscribe, because when you get there, you will see a lot of information. We put out information all the time, which could be important or which is important for you to travel to Africa. So if you always wanted to come here, if you wanted to bring that DNA back to South Africa or to Africa, this is the best way to do it. So we hope to hear from you soon. And if there's anything that you need, again, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and also hit us up at info@therealsouthafrica.com. As you see, we have plenty of travel opportunities, but of course, if you don't see anything you like, just give us a call. Obviously, our website, therealsouthafrica.com, we can customize the trip just for you, but we do need to be visiting South Africa on a regular basis. Make it your go-to, make it your new thing to do. But yeah, South Africa is wide open, and it's a playground for all of us. And just come here and build your relationship with Africa. If it's never been in the card for you, now it should be. So we make it very simple. We make it very easy for you to take advantage of this grassroots movement. So go ahead and, like I said, schedule a call, and we would love to hear from you. So hope to hear from you very, very soon.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.